Hello, everybody. Today, I'm going to start the first of a three-part series from the second chapter in my book, Our Divine Identity. Section 1 has to deal with truth, how we come to know what truth is, its importance in the plan, and its essential nature in our understanding who we are and our ultimate potential. The prophet Joseph Smith, the Lord revealed the definition of truth. He said, truth is knowledge of things as they are, as they were, and as they are to come. So from this definition, there's at least three conclusions that we can draw. First, truth is not relative, but it's absolute, representing things that are, were, and are to come. Second, what this definition teaches us about truth is it is verifiable to multiple observers and can be tested longitudinally, meaning in the past or in the present or relative to the future. And third, because it exists past, present, and future, it's situated such that men and women can believe in it first and then come to know it second. Belief precedes knowing something is true. Recall Jesus teaching some skeptical leaders of his day. He said that if any man will do his will, meaning his heavenly Father's, he will know of the doctrines, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself, meaning as a man, someone who's separate from God. The implication from that is exactly what we're talking about, is that we can come to know that the things that Jesus Christ teaches are true, and we can test them first by acting on them and then receiving the important knowledge to know for ourselves that they're true. Obeying the doctrines of the gospel carry their own witness that they are true. A second important aspect of truth is that it is possessed by God in its fullness, where we mortals only possess it in part. Truth is an element which constitutes the glory of God. And because God possesses truth in its fullness, we're well served to remember that the portion of it that he has revealed to us is just that. It's just a portion. Imagine that truth is represented by a large circle and everything can be circumscribed into that one universal whole. Then there's this smaller portion of truth that the Lord has revealed to us. It's a subset of that larger circle. Now, we don't know how big or how much of that total circle the Lord has revealed to us, but we imagine that it is very small. What we know relative to him is something that is only a very tiny fraction of what's available to know and to learn. We have an article of faith that teaches that there are many great and important things pertaining to the kingdom of God that are yet to be revealed. So it is a fundamental belief or a tenet of our faith that we don't know it all, and there are many, many things for us to learn in the future. Now, relative to what is actually true in the portion that has been revealed, there are those aspects of truth that we merely believe and those which we purport to know. We don't often take the time to really separate the things that we know from the things that we believe. They should carry very different markers to our minds and our hearts. And often we act as if we know everything that we believe, where we only believe it. So many of our actions are based upon our belief rather than our knowledge. And so trying to illustrate this point, the graphic shows that down in the subset of what the Lord has revealed is this other circle. And notice that this circle resides half in what is true and half of what is not true. And in the portion of things that we know that are true, that obviously lands comfortably within the larger confines of the circle of what the Lord has revealed. But then there is this portion of us where we have beliefs and assumptions and conclusions that reside outside that circle. These are the things that I'm describing that we know that are false, things that we try to stay away from, things that we know don't lead to ultimate joy or happiness. And then there's things that's also part of this circle that resides outside of the truth, things that we believe that are false. These are the things that have a heavy influence in shaping how we see the world, how we choose to behave, and the judgments and other conclusions that we make. These are the kinds of things that we need to surface in our own minds and get clear on that, and do our best to try to discard. From that last diagram, there are 4 things that I think are relevant to this discussion of truth that will set us up for our next section of this videos. They are, first, from what the Lord has revealed, we believe much more to be true than what we actually know to be true. 2, what we believe consists of things that are true, and they've been revealed by the Lord as such, and things that are false, things that are not aligned with what the Lord has revealed. Some portion of what we believe and have come to know is true, meaning that it's aligned with what the Lord has revealed. Hopefully that portion is a larger or more fully represented inside the boundary of what he's defined as true, but not necessarily. Some of our strongest identities carry with them assumptions and conclusions that are just not aligned to what the Lord has revealed. And then number 4, some portion of what we believe and have come to know is not aligned with what the Lord has revealed, and consequently it is false. These are the things that we're aware of that lie outside the realm of truth that we already do a good job of trying to stay away from. Now, one point to remember before we conclude this first section. As members of the restored church, we covenant to sustain all of God's revelations, no matter their conclusions or implications for us personally. We are required to believe all that God has revealed, all that he does now reveal and all that he will yet reveal, and nothing more. But this does not mean that we all know the truth of each revelation immediately or simultaneously as we hear them. The Lord has provided ample provision for us to learn and grow in a timeline best suited for our own development. And mercifully, he does not condemn us for not knowing something. The prophet Joseph Smith taught that I never heard of the Lord condemning anyone for believing too much, but I have heard of a man being condemned for unbelief. So what that does for me is it says, okay, even though I have a lot of beliefs that I carry that are just wrong, I'm not condemned for believing those yet. The Lord's going to give me opportunity and time and experience to work some of those things out, and then decide for myself to either lay those things aside and fully embrace what he has revealed before I'm subject to any type of condemnation. And so that is a very merciful thought. He's provided us the space, kind of the emotional and psychological space we need to come to know what is true in his timing and according to his own will, until we can finally set aside every sin and false notion which besets us. So I hope you enjoyed this content and that you stay around for the next 2 sections. And if there's anything you missed or anything you want to add, please leave it in the comments below.